Ian, great to have you on the show. Thanks for joining.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Healixa invents and acquires ethically engineered sustainable technologies to solve complex global challenges. Ian, let's start with a brief overview of your business and the customers you serve.
Great. Thank you. As you mentioned, Helixa focuses on ethically engineered technologies. Simply put, each technology has to meet our planet people prosperity test. Each technology we look at must answer three questions. Those three questions are, is the technology good and in balance with the world around us? Is it going to provide a positive impact on the growing population of the world? And will the technology result in sustainable prosperity? If a technology meets those criteria, the ones in our portfolio do, those are the ones that we put our effort, time, and money behind. We particularly focus on the UN's 17 sustainability goals. Those 17 sustainability goals are to be reached by 2030. Our portfolio right now impacts 11 of those 17 sustainability goals. The obvious ones would be clean water and sanitation and good health and well-being. Our reach with the product is significant. It's very flexible, so the technology is going to be able to reach channels like the UN and NGO market, as well as municipal water and the military.
Ian, water, it cannot be overstated how hugely important it is to life. How big is the market opportunity for your clean water technology?
As you can imagine, the market opportunity for clean water is absolutely enormous. We are running out of clean water on this planet. So when you look at the UN by itself is looking at an estimated $114 billion a year having to be spent to reach the UN's sustainability goals throughout the world by 2030. That is a huge market for us. That's the one we focused on, especially when you consider how many children are dying every day of not having clean, potable water. That is the one we focused on because every moment counts. The other markets for us, phase two is going to be the military. That's a huge market. It's several billions of dollars in size. When you think about Afghanistan, Middle East, Iraq, we've learned a lot of lessons about how we can move our troops around and how to keep them safe when it comes to clean water. Clean water is a big part of making sure that our troops are healthy and that they can move quickly within a particular theater. And the last one is the municipal water market. Municipal water market's only going to continue to get bigger and bigger. That market right now is hundreds of billions of dollars in size. That's probably going to require multiple different types of units. We're going to get to that one last. Those are things that we're looking at in our roadmap right now. When you think about that, just look at Arizona, look at California. All of them have water issues. This technology can have a huge impact on that. When you think about, Morgan Stanley recently came out with a report that the gap between the demand for clean water and our renewable water supplies is going to grow by 40% by 2030. So we have to look to the sky to unlock this limitless resource around us, which is the atmospheric water all around us. And if we do that with this technology, we can have a huge impact on all of those markets.
What separates Helixa's Global AquaDuct unit from its competitors?
The key behind the unit is not just that the unit is affordable. That is one thing that has been problematic in the atmospheric water generation market, is that the units have not been affordable. This unit is very affordable. It also requires no external power. It can run right off of a battery with a small solar panel. When you think about the communities that we need to bring this into, a lot of them are not going to have reliable power grids. So it's very important that we have a unit that can run outside and external of those, or self-generate its own power to run off-grid or grid independent. That is what the unit does. The other thing that separates us, and this is very important, is that we're not reliant on relative humidity. Relative humidity is not going to have any real effect on the yield. So we would have the same yield in a dry desert environment as we would in the tropics. And that's very, very key. The other key points would be that this unit has a zero carbon footprint. And it actually is greenhouse gas negative. When you think about, most people don't realize, but water vapor itself is a greenhouse gas. So by removing it from the atmosphere, we're not only have a negative or a zero carbon footprint, we have a negative greenhouse gas footprint. The water itself is glacier quality as well, and all of those things separate us from our competitors.
Sounds great, and you're certainly off and running, Ian. Helixa has secured orders for the Global AquaDuct unit in the Caribbean, South America, and Central America. What is the value of these orders, and what opportunities do they present?
So I do want to point out that we have not taken orders yet. We've taken indications of orders at the moment just to build our forecast and to see what the market opportunity is. We have started to take those. We have 5,000 indications as of right now. That's within Central America, South America, and the Caribbean. The size of those orders at $15,000 per unit, or an estimated $15,000 per unit when they go to market, is somewhere around $75 million in indications so far. I would also point out that once fully deployed, those 5,000 units are going to be producing 365 million liters of water, to all of those communities per year. So that's a very important point. You can now see how this particular product can really impact the global clean water crisis.
Turning now to your business model, Ian, how does Helixa make money?
Helixa's business model is relatively simple. The market price for units is going to be $15,000 per unit. We're also going to charge a $50 maintenance fee per month. So again, putting that in perspective, 5,000 units that have been indicated for so far, building into this forecast, that's $75 million in potential sales for us right now within just the Caribbean, Central America, and South America areas. We're looking at other areas right now. And again, it's a relatively simple business model. I think the key issue here, and this is very, very important, is that we have now secured a manufacturing relationship. And that manufacturing relationship in South Carolina is going to allow us to get to market here within, our estimate is within the next 8 to 9 months. We're going to be able to produce units and get them out the door to the communities that need them.
Ian, we talked about ethical engineering earlier. I've read about your company and its commitment to citizenship, safety, accountability, excellence, integrity, all very noble goals. Who are some of the key players who share these goals on the Helixa team?
Obviously, you have myself that sits in the CEO and chairman position with this team. I have 20 years of experience with private equity and venture capital. I've provided a lot of advice and operational expertise in turnarounds throughout my career with an exposure to a lot of different industries. Michael Berg is a close personal friend, comes from the commercial banking arena. We have Denver Riggleman, former congressman, very astute when it comes to Washington, D.C. and also the military. Chris Galliano is on our board of directors as well. He's the former Chief Technology Officer of Space and Naval Warfare. You go down the list, we have a former Secretary of Defense that is also part of our team. We have people from the Coca-Cola Water Foundation as well. It's a very powerful team, and I'll be honest with you, it's the finest team I've ever had the pleasure of serving with. I wake up every day honored to be in the chair that I'm in and serve with all of these fine people.
Now let's tie it all up into an essential value proposition, Ian. Why should investors take an interest in Helixa right now?
Helixa, right now, we've built the proof of concept. Now that we secured the manufacturing relationship, you now have a manufacturer that has dedicated 150,000 square feet to initial production of these units. And this is the time to look at us. This is the time to start telling our story, because we're about to be able to impact the world in a big way. This is even though this is the technology we're talking about today, we're going to continue to provide technologies that support truly sustainable communities in the future. And sustainability is going to be the big issue going into the next decade.
It's a great and actually inspiring story, Ian. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.